Hello, hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another video. Today, let's find out which of the five fingers of the city is fingering you the worst when they get pissed off. Phrasing. Anyway, but yes, if you are a random civilian in the city, you walking around one day, you pass by a member of the five fingers, and you do something really stupid because you have no self-preservation in this version of the timeline. Who's gonna do you the worst way when they get a hold of you? I know I phrased that like it's a tier list, but as I was doing my research and establishing what each finger will do to you if you piss them off, I realized this can't be a tier list. It'll make sense as we get along, but this is not a tier list anymore, but I am going to quantify who is not that bad and who is really, really bad if you piss them off. Alright, now we can really get into it. Now, we will start first with Pinky. So, as is known, generally speaking, we do not know that much about the Pinky as a whole in general. We know they're supposed to be all about humanity in some capacity, meaning really that's a freedom. And we know these straight away from that path. Thank you, GQ. But we don't really know like what's the main through line. Do they have overarching rules that everybody agrees to? We kind of assume there's some kind of agreement amongst all the members with the main organization, but beyond that we don't know now. So when I say you pissed off the Pinky, that doesn't really mean anything. What will happen if you piss them off? Well, I feel like the through line here is something along the lines of
전력으로 쓰겠다. 나를 들뜨게 만드는 일 많지 않지만 이번엔 그 귀중한 경우의 수에 들어맞았군.
that. So instant death, you have no chance of surviving, that's for sure. But how would you even piss them off in the first place? That's where we get tricky. Pinky members, from what we've seen, are all pretty very strong, important people, lots of resources. Basically, not the kind of person you're running by on the street as a civilian. You know, you're in the back streets, you're walking by. Maybe you're a Nestor, you're walking by, and you see this imposing figure, and you do anything to piss them off, really. Actually, they're so strong, you probably aren't pissing them off. Why? Because they could care less about your existence. So realistically, these guys are probably the least bad to piss off, or rather the hardest to piss off. But if you did somehow piss them off, you definitely die. How would you potentially piss them off? If I had to guess, you'd have to essentially restrict them from their freedoms. It seems like the main through line, just from my perspective, of all the members of the Pinky is that they have some kind of personal desires that they want to enact on, whether it be living their freedoms, exacting some level of revenge, or, something along those lines, some kind of experience that is personal to them, their personal desire or wish. And if you were to stop them from reaching that personal desire or wish, or kind of stand in the way of that, then that's when you get their ire and they you really hard. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that'd probably be it, but there's just no real way that you as a random civilian could do that. Maybe if you worked in the city's equivalent of the DMV, and you were like, you're gonna have to come back next week, and they're like, but I want to drive my car this week, and you said no, you're like, well, that's too bad. The rules are the rules. You need to bring your ID next time. Then they might
말씀하셨습니다. 하지만 말보다 검이 앞서는 이런 철학은 의를 향해 나아간다면
you really hard. But I think that's the only scenario I can think of where they would do that. So that's the Pinky. Probably most likely not the worst to piss off, the hardest to piss off, really. You'd probably be fine if you ran into a Pinky member. Now, let's look at the ring. See, and these are the main ones who really made it so that then I'm like, dang, heck do I make a peer list for this? And the answer is I don't. You see, I feel like if you piss them off, it's going to be fine. Why? Because the worst the ring will do to you doesn't happen because you piss them off. It happens because they think you're really good material and that you'd make really good art. See, You don't want them to be interested in you. You don't want them to see you, really. That's the concern. Pissing them off is probably on the lowest levels of things that would really, like, it's unlikely you'll do that because they're just artists. Artists always get criticism. They're probably not, most ring members are probably like, they're too locked in to hurt you, a random civilian. Given, it probably wouldn't be that hard to piss them off, probably break or like really go in on their art in a way where it's like it don't even make sense. They might get mad about it, but they probably wouldn't care because again, these are high level artists. They're not gonna hurt you for that. But perhaps your face when you're yelling at them for some stupid reason, your face gets red in a particular color to which they were like, wait, hold on. You'd make some really good red paint and then they kill you. Or if they don't kill you, they capture you. They keep you in a basement, tied up with some nice, good life support, and then they drain you of your blood as they make art on their easel. Or they make you the art, and you're now you've been caught up by a corpism apprentice, and they've decided that you're going to be the art, and so now you've been twisted and contorted in just the right way without your skin, of course, and now you're in an art exhibit. Not dead though. Any number of things, really. Point is, you're probably not making them mad that easily. It's probably gonna be a little difficult to piss them off because they're committed to their craft, so they're not really concerned about some rando's thoughts. But you try to piss them off, they start looking at you, all of a sudden, you're a really good art idea. Now you're going through tortures unimaginable and probably alive the entire time. That would be very unfortunate. You probably don't want to piss them off, but once again, probably a little bit difficult to piss them off. What you really want to do is stay out of their eyesight and not look interesting. All right? You're welcome for the advice. Next up, let's look at the middle. Oh dear God, you have made your life, your neighbor's life, your family's life, maybe the guy across the street's life really, really short as you just pissed off the middle. And now you've got everybody in a 50-mile radius absolutely brutalized. Thank you. All right. The middle's the worst. All right. There's not a tier list. The middle's the worst ones to piss off and probably the easiest, damn near. As you know, middle, vengeance, go hand in hand. The Book of Vengeance. You somehow get your name in it by committing a sin. You could have stepped on one of their shoes, bumped them by accident a little bit too hard, made a joke about one of their hairs. Like, you're just looking at them, you cut them in line. Maybe you mess with an associate of the middle. They don't even have the tattoos. They're just semi-related to the middle. They're friends with one of the guys or girls. And you were pressing them. They done called the gang, literally. And now you're in major deep debt. And so is your mom, your brother, your friends, everybody. Everybody's fried. Because it's not you who just gets the vengeance. Because maybe they can't get a hold of you. They can't get a hold of you. And they decide, you know what? The punishment, obviously, you're getting your head punched off. But I don't feel like that's enough retribution. Where's your mom's house? Don't even worry. We already found it. We burnt that shit down. Oh, your parents were inside. We took them out of the house. You're welcome. We broke both their legs just to make sure everything was squared away. You're welcome. And then they kill you. See, that's what it's like to get in trouble with the middle. Don't want to piss them off at all. Definitely, if this is a tier list, they're the absolute worst. Just stay safe. Stay safe. Next up, we got the index. Once again, another finger that I said, wow, how do you put them in a tier list? Because you see, you can't really piss them off. Like, a real committed member of the index is not going to get pissed off. Why? Because the prescript didn't say so. They generally only do things based on the prescripts. So therefore, if you were to do something to try to piss them off, like let's say, you see a member of the index proselyte. You walk up to him, you push him, you be like, what are you gonna do about it? Look at you and be like, shrug them shoulders. Now, if the prescript said whoever pushes you today, cut their head off, they didn't do that because they're bad, but you are in fact getting your head cut off. See the problem? You're probably not gonna piss them off, but if you somehow end up in a prescript, you are gonna get done however they want you to get done. That said, there are ways to make it so that you're guaranteed to end up in a prescript. For example, if you're in communities are under their protection, under their rule, and you don't do your prescripts that day, right? You get your daily prescript and you don't do it for one reason or another. Either you can't understand it or you just decide, I'm not doing that. Well, you're probably going to be in a prescript, someone else's prescript that day, and they're probably going to be like, hey, this guy a visit, and punish him accordingly. And you will probably get stabbed through the chest and split in half, it's to be expected. Pissing them off. So don't worry about pissing them off. Worry about being in a prescript. If you're in a prescript, you're fried. You probably want to run away. Not that you can because you're an average civilian, so you probably don't have money. So honestly, you're just dead. So once again, don't piss them off, or don't end up in prescript, I guess. All right. You're welcome. Finally, the thumb. Pretty easy to piss off. It's avoidable. All right. They got rules. Generally boil down to be as respectful as possible. Respect the hierarchy. For you, average civilian, this basically means, how about we just don't interact with them? Don't interact with any superiors in their presence, just in case they're feeling extra rules following. They're like, you know what? You're not respected. Why aren't you respecting your boss? And then they walk over and they're like, you know what? Because it's not me, but that was your boss, I'm taking your hand. What? And you lose your hand. See, that would be a problem. And that also makes them not the worst ones to get punished by. You see, they're gonna hurt you for sure, but they're not gonna kill you per se. It really depends on how zealous they're feeling that day. So it's like they're very much, you could say, in a sense, middle of the road, but you also can argue they're the second worst, at least, because they're not going to necessarily kill you. With a lot of these other ones, as you've seen, it basically boils down to you make them mad and then you are guaranteed to die. It's just how quickly are they going to kill you and how much collateral damage did you just cause by pissing them off that day. You're probably not causing any collateral, you're probably causing minimal collateral damage. They're not big on like being like, hey, well, you did this that was annoying, so therefore your entire bloodline up to at least your great-great-grandparents are now in very much huge danger. You might hurt your associates immediately around you, but that's probably the worst of it. But they're gonna cause serious bodily injury to you that you may survive, which means you're gonna get huge medical bills, probably if you want to even attempt to get that healed. I don't know. But point is, you're probably gonna live. You're just gonna be permanently vaguely disabled or unable to do something. Maybe your tongue's been ripped out and now you just never speak again. Maybe you get your arm taken off and now you have one arm. Great job. Cool to mention at a party, maybe. But point is, the worst, but you're gonna have to live with whatever they do to you. Versus with the other ones, at least it ends. I didn't say quickly. And so, there you go. Overall, I would say for sure you do not want to get fingered by any of the fingers. I think that ends horribly for you. Yep. Definitely not the middle. If you had to pick one to really try to piss off, probably the pinky. Like I said, it's kind of hard to make them mad just because, have you seen the members of the pinky? All of them are just a little bit too strong and clouded up to care about you, random civilians. So you're pretty safe with them. So if you're going to take that risk, deal with them. Not the middle. Never the middle. They don't forget. Anyway, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. And I'd also like to say, if you're watching this and you came from the last video, what, guys? Thank you. I'm happy you guys like the content. We're going to keep putting out for a while. I'm not promising no other breaks, but we're saying I'm not taking a break for quite a while. Anyway, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my other channels. Follow me on Patreon. Maybe donate some money. I just gotta throw it in there. Anyway, thank you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.